morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? What is going on, family? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Thursday. It is May 22nd. Kids are out of school. Weather's great. A lot to be thankful for. We appreciate you guys being here today on the show. We're going to talk about some training. A lot of players on their social media accounts have been posting some photos of these guys putting in the work. And, you know, it's always amazing to see these guys putting in the work in the summertime individually, right? Because we understand when the season comes to, these guys are, you know, so structured, working out with Coach David Ballou, doing what Coach Kalen DeBoer wants them to do. But in the summertime, you know, a lot of these players have the freedom, and it's up to them and their responsibility to go and work with the trainer and get things done right. And now that, you know, we live in a time where these players can afford to go here and go there, they're going all over the country, right? I mean, yesterday we talked about Dejoun Lee and Cam Calhoun working out in Atlanta. I know it's a hop, skip, and a jump away. And we have the wide receivers going out to Las Vegas to work out with the quarterbacks and Geno Smith. It's amazing to see these guys putting in the work, right? There's no off season for this level. There's no off season for greatness, and I love that. And yesterday, it came across social media that, and today will be a call and show on the back end. Let me get through kind of my opening segments. But the great thing about social media is yesterday, we saw, that'll be our continuation hoodie today. I'll get back to that in a minute. But we saw, how about this? Ryan Williams teaming up with DeVonta Smith. This is in Tampa, Florida. All right. I believe Isaiah Horton was there as well. So Isaiah Horton, he's been traveling, went from Las Vegas down to Tampa. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, you know, the more and more that we get familiar with Ryan Williams and the more that he blossoms as a person, who better to link up with, playing style-wise, than one of the greatest Alabama football wide receivers ever, right? I have DeVonta Smith at the top of my chart, and I know it's controversial when you talk top Alabama wide receivers because you got the OG like Julio, and some people have Julio up top, right? Amari Cooper also laid the tracks. You have so many great Alabama wide receivers, but for me and for who I have covered here at Alabama, it's DeVonta Smith for me, and he's probably my top player overall, okay? And I know that's another debate, and we can go, you know, there's so many guys that you could choose from. But from the mentality standpoint and from the heart standpoint and kind of what the player stood for, I mean, DeVonta Smith is up there. I mean, some people have it, some people, and we don't play around with that Mamba mentality often. But if somebody else has that, you know, what Kobe had, what Jordan had, DeVonta Smith has it. Super Bowl champ, right? So to see these two guys working out, and I put their weights on the screen. I don't know if these weights are updated. I just gave it a quick little Google glance over. It says DeVonta Smith still at 170 pounds and Ryan Williams at 174. The one thing that I have noticed about Ryan Williams, probably year over year, it seems like he's filled out a little bit more, right? Coach Kalen DeBoer said he had some sort of ding. I mean, not a big deal. If they had to play, he would have played. But it seems like he's filling out a little bit more. This screenshot right here is from the Overtime. Overtime is a social media sports website where he just did an interview. I'll talk about that in a second. Hey, Dwight, I appreciate it, bro. Dwight is talking about an interview that I recently did with Brian Gregory. I'll link it inside the comment box if you want to watch it. A young and upcoming YouTuber. He asked me about my career path. I explained kind of the story of kind of where I'm at today. So if you're interested, I'll put it inside the comment box. Yeah, and this is just in two. Xavier Crowell has set a commitment date for June 26th. I'll talk about that in a minute, man. Brock, bring that up in a minute. Let me finish up with Ryan Williams and DeVonta Smith. So, I mean, doesn't it seem like and let me ask you, is Ryan Williams, is he comparable to DeVonta Smith? Is that the receiver that you think maybe familiarity-wise, like these two are similar in their playing style? Or is Ryan Williams kind of a combination of a couple different receivers? It seems to me that he does have a lot of Smitty in him, But Ryan Williams is also kind of like a different breed. I mean, DeVonta Smith, I mean, God, my goodness, like what didn't he do? And his catch radius was incredible, right? You think about some of the one-handed catches he had, the toughness that he had. Now, I will say this, Max is right. You know, you can't say a lot of things about, and we're still seeing how Ryan Williams develops in year 2. But, man, the one thing about DeVonta Smith, that guy was, he was like super glue. And a lot of those wide receivers were, I think when we were thinking about those wideouts, those guys never dropped passes. That's why when, you know, Jerry Jeudy left, Henry Ruggs, DeVonta Smith, when those guys left, even after, like, you know, J-Mo left and John Mechie, some of those wide receivers started dropping passes. I don't know what the change was, but I think over the last, like, 3 seasons, we've seen more drop balls than we did when I first got here from, like, 2017 to 2021. Like, there was 0 drop passes. Like, if you dropped a pass, it was like we'd never seen that before. Kalen says he's his own man, and I would agree with that, too. I mean, just kind of the persona that he has and, like, what he was able to do just in his initial year was, like, I still think that the play that he had against Georgia was the most instinctual play that I have ever seen in my life. When he hit the brakes and those 2 dudes hit each other and then he went down, he scored, hit him with the dirty bird. That was like, I'd never seen a play like that. The only play that, you know, might be better than that last year was when Barkley kind of did the 360 jump over the players, that play is going to be in Madden, by the way. And Doug, isn't it incredible that 2nd and 26 is when we first got really a taste of Tua and DeVonta Smith? But I think as we get kind of further along with Ryan Williams' career, he has characteristics of a lot of the wide receivers that have come through. Probably more comparable to DeVonta Smith, but like Kalen said, like, I think he's his own person, which clearly, you know, the guy is destined for greatness. In fact, in this interview that they did on Overtime, he talks about kind of some goals and aspirations. So the person interviewing him was like, hey, I'm Ryan Williams, finish the rest of the season. And he's like, national championship and your latest Heisman Trophy winner. That's the type of confidence that you have to have. That's the type of mindset that you have to have. Ryan Williams has it, and I think now coming into this system, not only will the new quarterback help him, but I think Ryan Grubb will be able to get him the football as many times as possible. I cannot wait to see what he does this year. I think it is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm all in for year 2 of Ryan Williams. So Ryan Williams and DeVonta Smith linking up. Love to see it. All right, let's do some shout-outs real quick. See where everybody's coming in from this morning. All right, Herman, what's up, man? Good to always see you up inside the comment box. Kimberly, good morning. I appreciate you being here. Kaylin D-Boss, what's up, bro? Alyssa, you and Herman have perfect attendance. Twan, what's up, man? Good to see you. Ruben Poole, man, I appreciate you being here. Coming to us from Panama City, Dothan, Alabama. Max Tooney again, what's up, bro? Southern Red, good morning to you. I appreciate you being here. Ruben Poole, man, thanks for checking out that men's devotional as well. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support. Melon Jesus, good to see you. Robert Bradley, man, what's up? Hope you're off to a really good Thursday. HOF Jumpman, Roll Tide. Nicole, what's going on? Good to see you. My boy Alex, what's up, bro? Nicole Covington, good morning to you as well. Mindy, Miss Careless, says good morning. And everybody up in the undefeated. We got Ryan Harris checking in. Rocket Town. Rocket Town's been here for a long time. Chase Young Bailey, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Trevor, what's up, man? And Soli 462, where you at, bro? Good to see you, man. Ryan Harris says, I played that Warrior golf course yesterday. Which one are you talking about, Ryan? Which Warrior one? Let me know, man. You know, my ears perk up when you start to talk golf. King Riz, what's up, bro? I appreciate you. Thanks for supporting us on Facebook, too. T-Town Trisha, what's up? Good morning. Dwight, good to see you inside the comment box. Chris Waldman, man, always checking in. All right. Does anybody know what that's from? So a little bit of breaking news, and this isn't like significant news. There was a couple pieces of news that came out just before I started up the show. This first one is college football related, and this is from Heather Dinich of ESPN, and she says college football leaders having a call today and are expected to talk about the potential of changing the seeding for this fall. It's possible they could vote on a straight seeding model where the selection committee's top 4 teams would earn the top 4 seeds according to sources. Well, absolutely. And kind of going along with Saban saying we don't necessarily need a commission because it's kind of obvious what needs to be fixed. Now, can those things be implemented? We'll have to see. But this is one of the biggest things that drove me crazy last year was when they would show how confusing. Do you agree with me? Wasn't it confusing last year when we'd all wait for the teams to be ranked or seeded, and they would have the rankings and the seedings, right? And they'd be like, well, this team is ranked 1 through 12, but this team isn't seeded in the bracket. You'd be like, well, what the hell? So you're telling me that the teams, like, it was pointless for them to even rank the teams. They'd be like, Bama's 12, but Boise State at 18 is going to get in the playoffs. What? No, if you're not in the top 12, then get the hell out of here. You're not a top 12 team. I saw Nebraska's coach yesterday, right? Matt Rule saying, take 40 teams. Oh, my God. Did that not sound desperate? 40 teams? Jeez. I don't even know. Look, Nebraska fans probably going to get mad when I say this. I don't even know if Nebraska would make a top 40 playoff. Would they? Are they a top 40 team? Man, Nebraska, the world of college football wants Nebraska to be good again. They want Notre Dame to always be good. They want USC to be good because now the people who are kind of like running things are like my age, right? Like 40 to 50. And it reminds them of when they were a little kid watching football. It's like going back to Disney World, okay? So we're not in Disney World anymore. Nebraska will never be good, I guess, again. It would be cool to see them, the old Nebraska, right, running the triple option. But come on. Nebraska is like an afterthought. I don't even know if they'd be a top 40 team. Lance is saying just use the old BCS system, and I think that's what we might go back to. I mean, everybody out there is using ChatGPT or Grok or something like that. Well, just use that for the playoffs. Ask Grok, who are the 12 best teams? Put in all the formulas of all the teams, all the schedules. It spit it out in 2 seconds. You could put it on TV, and that's it. So I guess, keep your head on a swivel. They're going to vote for the straight seeds, which is the right thing to do. Last year, it was completely ridiculous. Our raffle today, we got a lot of people in today. So we got Chad, we got Chris Waldman, we got Alex Wilder, Dan Caraway, Lisa Patriot Life for the raffle today. So this is a big ticket item of the week. We usually do one big ticket item, during the week. This is the hoodie from the Hide the Tide collection that you can go to Athletes Thread and just buy directly. When you go to Athletes Thread, they have a lot of gear. It goes back to the players. It's 100%. It's official merchandising from the University of Alabama. They have some really cool stuff out there. We do raffles on here, so Bama_YouTube if you want to join in, or Cash App Bama YouTube, $10 to get in, up to 3 opportunities that you can chime in. Portion of that goes back to the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen. I'm doing a drop either tomorrow or on Saturday, probably tomorrow. So if you want to get in, we'll spin the pinwheel at the back end of the show, but I'll give you some opportunity. Bama YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube, $10 one opportunity, up to 3 opportunities per person. All right. And if you have any shipping questions, if you won in the past and you just want to, know the status update on, the gear that you won, I put my email inside the comment box. Also, too, ears up, please. If you could be a sponsor of the show, if you have a small business, a big business, whatever, that would be amazing. So nmpreps@gmail.com. I would really appreciate it. And especially the summer months, right? A little thin. I just saw this. So a couple things. Before I get, this is Qua Russaw, by the way. Qua Russaw is an absolute beast. I saw this on social media. But before I get to that, I just saw before I started the show that Xavier Crowell will announce on June 26th. So who is he? Well, he's the number 1 running back in the state of Alabama. He reclassified from 2027 to 2026. It seems like Alabama is the team to beat here. I think some people inside the comment box might feel that maybe he's going to Auburn. This would be one hell of a pickup, okay? I think he's very comparable to any of the running backs that we have on the right. I think, honestly, he reminds me of Jam Miller and A.K. Deere. And Alabama's going to need to get a big-time running back in this class. All right, so keep your eyes peeled. June 26th, and that Xavier Crowell, absolutely monster. Okay, so this not young man, this grown man, okay, is Qua Russaw. And I saw this on social media, and look, I have an eye for talent. I would have loved to be like an NFL scout, something like that. That would have been tight. Who knows? Maybe I could be. I don't know. This guy, I saw this on social media. So go follow him on his social media, and there's a video of it. And it's a quick video. I took some screens of it. He's a monster, like an absolute monster. He's 245 pounds. He ended up being really the starter last year after Q-Rob was a little bit banged up towards the middle of the season. This guy is more than capable to be an elite level wolf position player, probably one of the best in the SEC, if not one of the best in the country. And the more that I continue to dive into this team, the more that I kind of find myself thinking that this team is going to be better than I even anticipate. Like I continue to like ride on the train with this team more and more and more. I think if you would have asked me in January, I would have been a little bit more skeptical. But as I continue to dig into the team and the individual positions, this team does not have a lot of weak spots. And the great thing about this team is the twos are very talented. Now, if you followed my shows before, the only area that I have really question marks about is the offensive line and the two deep. But everything else, like, yo, the wolf position is absolutely phenomenal. So, Qua Russaw, right? And here's a look at the position. And Ja Latham over here, yo, he's been here since 2020. Think about that. 2020, he's been here. And this is the entire room. I would imagine he is like the guy in the room, and he's the starter. He's going to play a lot because he has a lot of experience, right? But I would imagine that this guy, I would imagine that these are the two deep is probably split between Ja Latham and Yonze Pierre, with Yonze Pierre coming off first. Hey, Tiders, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the super. Tiders back in Bama. Got you in the raffle too, bro. But look at this room. Any one of these guys, you know, these first three guys are ready to go. And I think these next three guys, that's the future of the position. And as you can see, it's not going to slide off. I mean, for example, Quay and Yonze, they're only redshirt sophomores. Those guys, all of these first three guys could all go to the NFL next year. Will they? No. So one of these guys, like let's say Quay has a strong season, he'll go to the NFL. And then next year, just looking at it like this, it'd be Yonze, Noah, Cavante Henry, who is a monster. And then Justin Hill, his goal is to be a freshman All-American. This room is so talented. I've said this before. If I could be a coach this year for this team, like in one of the position coaches, I would want to coach this room. A lot of talent here. And I think year two in the tracks been laid. The defense, these guys will be able to get off the court after the quarterback. A lot of talent here. I think if I wanted to like this guy. Same thing with Keon Keeley. Keon Keeley, I see him and Yanzi Pierre as like kind of like a tandem for whatever reason. I don't know why. I've just always paired those two guys together, and when they get opportunities, Yanzi Pierre is super, super athletic. Just because this guy is shining right now doesn't mean that this guy is not. So, anyways, one hell of a room. One hell of a room. Look, another guy putting in the work. This is Mustard, all right? I continue, one of my biggest question marks, I probably put a video together at some point in time, like my 10 biggest question marks going into the season. And one of them might be like, how the hell are they going to keep him off the field, Dejoun Lee? I mean, what a problem to have, right? I mean, look at this guy, 6'4" corner, and he just doesn't look the part. Like, he dominated this spring, okay? And look at the corners. Some of these guys, could play that Husky position, but your main corners are, this guy started every single game last year, baller. This guy started every single game last year, baller. And then you bring in him, absolute baller. Chuck McDonald's about to get here maybe in a couple weeks. So, like, from a corner standpoint, that's what I'm saying. The 2D, Dejoun Lee, think about this. Dejoun Lee is at number 2 right now. And Alyssa, that's what I'm wondering too. And I think if you're like asking like non-fansy questions, that's it. This is something that I'm watching too. And look, that is no disrespect to Zabian Brown at all, because he is a wonderful player. That guy came up with some really big plays last year as a freshman. But if you have to put the best player on the field, you see how these guys are doing, and if Dejoun is the guy, you start him. That's how talented he is. Each of the guys from Cali, really all your corners are from Cali, right? Let's see. Yeah, Damani Jackson, Cali. Xavier Brown, Cali. Yeah, all your corners now. Yeah, all your corners are from Cali. I don't know. Ryan Harris is saying move him to Husky. I think if you were to move, for whatever reason, I think you could move. I would have to ask. That's an interesting question. Move him to Husky. I wonder if it would make more sense to move Zabian Brown to Husky. But then again, like, who's really good, and I think will have a really big year. Look, Cam Calhoun's the Husky position has 3 very capable guys. I think if they started a game today, from what I understand, it might be Deshaun Jones. But when I was at that practice, this guy looked fantastic. Red Morgan, and a lot of people haven't talked. This guy looked super, super ready to be the guy. 440 saying that Coach Saban would have put him at safety. Interesting. And even if you did put him at the safety position, you have Keon Sabb right now coming back. You have Bray Hubbard coming back. You have Drake Kirkpatrick. Zay Mincy, he's got some length too. You imagine if Dejoun Lee and Zay Mincy were your safeties, like in the future? It's not scary to think about. and like I said, yesterday, Alabama also has Jordan Edmonds coming in. He's committed at this point in time. He's like 6'3", so he's going to join that group of corners as well. I think it's be really difficult to leave somebody with length off the field like Dejoun Lee. Really, really interesting to track. So, as I see these training photos come in, I love to see it. The grind never stops. These guys are dialed in. They look fantastic. Jack Wells has Cam Calhoun at Husky. I think you're right. I think it's between him, Deshaun Jones, and Red Morgan. I think it's a very close position battle. You know what? Look, I said this week too. and I love DeVonta Smith. We're not talking about DeVonta Smith for the Eagles. We're talking about DeVonta Smith, who now plays for Notre Dame. I think that I don't know who's better, him or Deshaun Jones. Maybe Deshaun Jones. I don't know. But I think Cam Calhoun and Red Morgan are better than DeVonta Smith for that Husky position. That's just how I feel. So I feel like even if DeVonta Smith came back, he probably would have, one of these guys would have started over him. And I know he split time with Red Morgan, but I think as Red Morgan develops, he's going to be a starter. All right, so I'm going to start the call-in show now. So if you want to call in, now is a good time. I'll put the call-in line number on the screen in just a minute. Those of you that are frequent callers know the call-in line is 205-850-1994. This is our raffle today. It is the Alabama Tusk Camo Quarter Zip Black Hoodie. This is also available straight up at Athlete's Thread if you want to go over there and just buy any of the gear. If you want to jump into the raffle today, $10 to get in, max 3 tries. Venmo, Bama _YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. When you call in today, know that there's probably somebody calling behind you, so we can definitely have some dialogue. It's pretty much open to what you want to talk about. We're in the later part of May, but if you want to call in and you have a question, get something off your mind, now is the time to do it and talk Alabama football. So I'd appreciate it. And I'll be making, this is our drop last month, actually around the same time. This is Miss Susan right here. She runs the Community Soup Bowl. If you haven't met her, she's wonderful. She runs a tight ship. I'm serious. She is on it. She's like the Coach Saban of the soup kitchen. I'm serious. She will jump all over your ass like that. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm serious. She is the boss, 100%. And that's how leaders are. Up at the top, it doesn't matter. Your feelings do not matter in a business. You have to run the business. Now, is she nice outside of it? Of course. But, man, when you're at the soup kitchen, no. She don't play. 205-1994, 205-850-1994 is the call-in line number if you want to call in and chat this morning. I appreciate you guys chiming in. Super chats, really appreciate it. And again, I said, if you're in a position out there to be a sponsor of the show, the call-in segment, whatever, hit me up, nmpreps@gmail.com. I'll post it again here in a second inside the comment box. We got a call coming in, 737. Let's take it right now. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on line with, and where are you calling in from?
Good morning, Kyle. This is Mike in Austin.
Mike, what's up, man? I appreciate the 737. Look, did things get it rearranged once you got out? I mean, because the numbers new. I mean, did you have to go kind of into hiding? I mean, are things good post everything that you went through last year?
Yes, things are good. Well, the other number was my burner phone that I smuggled into the cell. So don't ask me how I did it, man. I don't want to go into details, but it's just the way of life. But, yeah, this is my freedom number. Now that I'm out living in the real world, this is my new number. So, but freedom is good, man. It's not free, but it is good, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, welcome on in, man. I appreciate you joining on this fine Thursday, man. So fire away. Go ahead, man.
Well, starting from this point is when I'll start my Coach DeBoer analysis to how well he's doing or not. Because last year was a complete wash. It was a disaster. Losing the Michigan game was an insult to injury, but we had so much bad luck. We didn't have an identity, and it was truly a team in transition. And it's like if you're, a female karaoke singer and you got to go perform after Whitney Houston, you're probably going to look bad doing it, So that's kind of the situation Kalen DeBoer was in. And it was a transition in football overall. I mean, we started the 12-team playoff. But with that being said, I want to start, and so far I do like the recruiting that he's doing.
Yeah.
And because, last year we did bring in the number 3 class. So his first recruiting class was a win. And then, not losing anybody in the spring transfer portal was a big win. So there were all positive signs. But last year, I'm washing it away. I'm putting it on the mantle. We'll remember it, but I won't cherish it. But it's like I said, the evaluation process for our new coach starts this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. And one of the things that I did, I think prematurely, and I probably did this because I really fell into the fan base, and I think emotionally I let my emotions get to me. But I think in hindsight, and I'm man enough to admit this, I think I was a little bit too harsh on the first year outcome and the results. And now that I've had time to think about it and kind of hear Coach Saban's talk and Coach Kalen DeBoer and the players, and really had time to reflect on it, I didn't realize kind of the impact and the magnitude of kind of the changing of the guards and how that would have on the team. Now, look, there's no excuses of how you played. The one game that really bothers, 2 games, is how you played against Oklahoma and how you played against Michigan. Those were games that just really frustrated me. Not so much even the Vanderbilt game. The Vanderbilt game, they just came out and punched them in the mouth. But like the Oklahoma game, I thought they got out coached. I didn't think they did a good job getting those players ready for the game on the road. And then Michigan's players didn't even play in that game, and I felt like that was a really good time to kind of change over. Whatever. Enter new year, and I think, this, now that the tracks are laid and hearing the players on these documentaries or hearing them in interviews during spring football, these guys are completely bought in, and I don't think they're BSing us. I think they're honestly like really dialed in, and this is a whole new identity of a team coming in. And I like what you said about the recruiting too, because I continue to highlight it's not really about the quantity of the players that you have at this point in time in May. Who cares? Imagine how many times these guys are going to decommit, commit, whatever. I look at the quality and the type of players that you're bringing in, like a Jordan Edmonds, if you can get him, Sadarian Morgan, if you could get him, Xavier Crowell, if you can get him. Those are the type of guys that fit kind of the standard of Alabama football. So excited to see what happens from the recruiting standpoint. What else you got, Mike?
Absolutely. Well, Kyle, just like you were saying, dude, we're all Bama fans.
Yeah.
We're a little spoiled. We was a little spoiled before Saban got here, and he took it to another level. But as far as the defense goes, what made Alabama good with the Saban years and even pre-Saban years was the physicality of our defense. Our defensive line being unmovable, our linebackers being the best, our defensive backs playing well, all the way back to Antonio Langham and even before then. And I'm all for the swarm defense. I just want to maintain the physicality and controlling the line of scrimmage on the defense. I think that is still very, very important for our team in college football, winning games overall. But it's a new day, and you're right about the Oklahoma. The one bad thing about the Oklahoma game was we controlled our destiny up to that point. I mean, we were still in control of our destiny. We went out to Oklahoma and completely blew it. So, I don't blame Bama fans for being up because we should have beat Oklahoma. We know we lost the games. Yeah. We should have won, and we won games against Georgia that we should have lost. But anyway, I do think that we're trending in the right direction. I do think we have the best player in college football. Like you was talking about, look at them plays Ryan Williams pulled out. I mean, Milroe, God bless him, he was just throwing that ball up, and Ryan Williams would come down with it, So but it's a new day, and just Bama fans, stay strong. The future is bright, and from this point, I think we're playoff bound. But Kyle, keep up the good YouTube channel, man.
I appreciate it, brother. All right, take care. All right, Mike calling out from an undisclosed area. I guess that's not his burner phone. So call in line number 205-850-1994 to call in if you want to chat this morning, talking Alabama football. I appreciate it. I'll be here, for a few more if you guys want to call in. I think, let me ask you this inside the comment box. And maybe you disagree. I don't know. Did you judge this team too harshly in year one, like during the season? I did. And look, because we all have such high standards, and we're all so spoiled watching this team dominate. But stepping back and understanding the first year without Coach Saban and a new coach, and the quarterback situation, there was a lot of things that just it made you frustrated to go through. But I think kind of stepping back, I now understand just how difficult it was for that team to even muster that type of season, especially in the end. And the thing that I still don't agree with is kind of going back to that Michigan game. And I don't want to reopen old wounds, but the thing is I felt that was the perfect time to put in Ty Simpson, right? Now who are rallying around. But that was a perfect time, and I get it. It was torrential rain. But that after that first quarter, I was like, okay, this is the perfect time to put Ty in and have him come through. And I still feel that if Ty Simpson would have played that game, I don't know, somehow I feel like they would have won that game. And I just, thinking about the fact that Michigan has beaten Alabama the last 2 times it's played, it doesn't sit well with me, right? So we'll see what happens. 205-850-1994 is the number to call in. Trevor says inside the comment box, or if you have a question, just post it on the screen and I'll read it out here. Alex says, what's up, Alex? Alex says, yes, but how they lost was embarrassing, especially after playing Georgia. And he's talking about I would imagine you're talking about the Vandy game. Yeah, but I guess the reason, all the losses are going to bother you, right? But the reason that the Vanderbilt loss doesn't necessarily bother me is because Vanderbilt was like a team that was going to punch people in the mouth last year. And you need to be punched in the mouth during the season. I think it's important that you lose one game each year. Most of the Saban's teams that won national championships, they lost. Like, it's important to get punched in the mouth usually in the beginning half of the season. It wakes you up, right? Just like if you get punched in the mouth in life, something happens to you, you're able to kind of come to and rebound from it, hopefully. The way that I did it, like the Oklahoma loss to me was way worse because they were still running like the shovel pass. The offense completely fluttered, playing on the road. And this was another game that they were heavy favorites in. I would have never, ever thought in my wildest dreams that they would have lost to Oklahoma last year. Even at that same point in time, I just didn't think that it would happen. That's why that game bothers me so much. In the Michigan game, none of their best players were even playing in that game. Hey, Justin, I appreciate it. The hat is from, I've had this hat for a while. I don't often wear it, but I think it does go good with my Walmart shirt. So I went to Walmart, by the way, in Northport here, 205-850-1994. And Walmart has a lot of really good Alabama gear. And I don't know if, look, this Walmart, you know how sometimes you go to Walmart and it's kind of just like stuff is everywhere. I don't know what's going on with the Northport Walmart, but that manager has that place perfectly lined up. Everything is in order. Everything is shelved. Everything is like perfectly. I've never seen a Walmart like that, ever. Because over here, if you go to like Target is like a bomb went off. You can't find anything. But this Walmart, watch out. Don't sleep on the Walmart in Northport, Alabama. That's where I was this morning. And for those of you out in Northport or in Tuscaloosa, we have a workout group for you. It's F3 Fitness Fellowship and Faith, 5:30 in the mornings. You want to come out, get your workout on. I'll be there. So hit me up and come work out. All right. Any questions inside the comment box? Let's see what Justin DeBoer has to say. When I went to Walmart, when I visited Bama, I was shocked to see how much Bama gear. No, I'm serious. Like, if you want some gear, like on the fly, if you come into town or whatever and you're like, don't have a Bama shirt or something like that, go to Walmart and you could get, and the prices, the prices at Walmart are incredible. I want to say that this shirt, this polo, which you could wear this to play golf. You could certainly wear this like at a graduation or something like that with some nice slacks. This was like, I think this was $15. Let's see what KC has to say inside the comment box. Roll Tide Team Video Game 3D in 2025. Yeah, I mean, the new game should be dropping soon. Molly, what's up, Molly? Molly has a question. Well, that is amazing. Does your dog have a hat on? Are you seeing this? Molly has a dog, and it has an Alabama hat on. What's the starting offensive line? I think the starting offensive line, if we were to have a game this Saturday, let's say, your left tackle will be Caden Proctor, who should be at, first-round draft pick. Your left guard, it looks like it's going to be Cam Dewberry. So Cam Dewberry, he came in from Texas A&M. He had a really good spring, a lot of positive things to say. He actually said that Ryan Grubb, like, he had some amazing comments about him and how good the offense is going to be. Yeah, that dog doesn't look like he plays around, right? This dog is definitely on the defense. At center, you're going to have Parker Brailsford, who is a returner, All-American. At right guard, you have Jaden Roberts. I mean, he's known as the Hulk. And if he's at 100%, I mean, that's 3 starters that you return. And at right tackle, it's going to be Wilcom Formby. So, and Wilcom Formby, this is a guy that we're all hoping has improved. And according to Coach Kalen DeBoer, he's taken some really big steps forward. So that will be your offensive line. And I do have questions about the kind of the 2 deep with the second team. But you also have some vets on the 2 deep, like Rock Montgomery, Geno Vandermark. And you have some new guys, too. You have Jackson Lloyd, Michael Carroll, Casey Poe, probably a couple guys that I didn't mention. But, yeah, offensive line, I feel good about the starters kind of depending on the outcome of Wilcom Formby. And I think that's kind of every single Alabama fan or, show that you would watch out there. So, appreciate the question. Awesome dog. That's cool. Dogs. Dog life, there's different kinds of life. Well, 256, I'll take you in just a second. There's 2 types of life. There's beard life. Beard life is way different than non-beard life. If you're out there and you had a beard, if you're a woman out there and you have your husband and he has a beard, there's a difference between beard life and non-beard life. And then there's a difference between dog life and non-dog life. Dogs are the best. We don't deserve dogs. All right? It's just we don't. They're always happy. They live in the moment. I got 2 Frenchies. The kids love them. I love them. Dog life's the best life. All right, 256, let's do it. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
How you doing, Kyle? This is Jay Boogie, man. I'm calling in from Hillsboro up here, man, next to Huntsville. How you doing, man?
Jay Boogie, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Thanks for calling in. First of all, Jay Boogie, are you okay from the tornado that went through?
Yeah, they're saying we had about 3 or 4 go through up here. We where I'm at, I'm right next to the river right here, next to Decatur.
Mm-hmm.
And they said 3 or 4 came through. Most of them hit just across the river in the Athens, Madison area right there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cleanup, a lot of down trees. But as far as I know, everybody moved through with just mainly a lot of destruction.
Did you?
But everybody got lucky as far as I know.
Were you in the area when it came through? Were you able to see the tornado? Like, did it actually touch down? Like, obviously it did because I did see some houses, but were you able to, like, physically see it?
Yeah, it passed right over the farm I live on.
Wow.
And it roped right as it was going across the river. And it touched down. I don't know if you're familiar with this area up here, but there's a large mobile home community next to the community college on 31.
Mm-hmm.
And it touched down right over there and just moved east toward Madison. I think Madison ended up getting the brunt of most of that damage.
Wow, that's
cool. They're
so
still trying to figure out actually how many touched down.
That's wild because the time that I went, I've been to Huntsville a couple times. Actually, I love Huntsville. I love it there. A really nice city. The downtown was great, and I stayed in Madison though. So I stayed at my hotel that I stayed in was by like where the Trash Pandas play. That's Madison, I think. So wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's a beautiful area right there.
For sure. Really nice homes and a nice community. Anyways, bro, glad people are safe out there, and let us know if you're from that area that you're okay. Those storms are nothing to mess around about. But we're on the phone with Jay Boogie calling out from the Huntsville area. Lives on a farm, loves Alabama football. Inside the comment box frequently. So come with it, Jay Boogie. Welcome on in, bro.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the linebacker core. There really hadn't been a whole lot spoken on the extent of the injuries we got, I would really love to see Abdul Sanders get some playing time this year, and which I know Deontay Lawson is the man. But I heard that Abdul had a really good spring, so I look forward to seeing him. And also as well, the offensive line, I think, is probably going to dictate everything when it comes to how this offense gels. I think Ty is probably going to surprise a lot of people with his mobility as long as we can protect him.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the linebackers, I know we highlighted this show talking about an outside linebacker, wolf position players, talking about Qua Russaw and kind of that he looks beastly. But when you look to the inside linebackers, you're right. There was 3 linebackers, or 2 rather, that were out. Deontay Lawson, who I would imagine is a first-round pick in next year's NFL draft along with Caden Proctor. And then you had Justin Jefferson, who came back because of the Diego Pavia rule, right? So he has an extra year. And that made a couple other linebackers exit out, like Justin Okoronkwo, Sterling Dixon, Jeremiah Alexander, because those guys weren't going to play this year. And then Alabama also brought in Nakai Hill-Green from Colorado, and that guy's been portal surfing a little bit, but he seems to be a great piece. So when you look collectively to the snap counts that Nakai Hill-Green, Justin Jefferson, and Deontay Lawson have played, I mean, it's almost like 1,000 total snaps. And I would imagine that's some of the most experienced group in the country, right? The inside linebackers. Now, we're all hoping that Deontay Lawson is 110% by that first game of the season, which I think he will be. And then after that, you have some younger guys. You have, Caden Jones. Don't forget about him. You have Abdul Sanders, who you mentioned, who's a freshman, again, from California. They have that California pipeline since Coach Kalen DeBoer has been here, who had a wonderful spring. You have QB Reese, who's had a really big spring as well. He had more opportunities. And then you had Luke Metz, who came in from Georgia. And then you have Daryl Duke Johnson. Those are your 3 freshmen. So you have a good group of really experienced guys and then guys who are, kind of a work in progress or in development, as I like to say. So, yeah, the inside linebackers, I have no issue with the inside linebackers at all. Like that, the one should be really good. And, even the 2s coming up next year, I don't have a problem with. So losing Justin Okoronkwo, I think that did hurt. He was a guy that I didn't want to see get away.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see Caleb Downs leave. I didn't want to see Justin Okoronkwo leave. I didn't want to see Mo Diabate leave basketball to Kentucky. Those are some of the other guys you're just like, dang, that's too bad, but whatever. Justin Okoronkwo, he's a good player. He's a good player. He's really good.
Yeah, I was the other day listening to the show. I was kind of glancing over the roster, and I coached a little bit of high school football down in Florida when I was in college. And man, I would hate to be the guy having to decide who's going to get this playing time on both sides of the ball this year.
Yeah.
Because when you think about the potential of rotation on both sides of the ball, I think that's just a great advantage that we're going to have over pretty much the rest of the league this year. I mean, at every position, we're stacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the more we dive into it and the more I continue to, I'm getting really excited about this coming season even more so. And I think, look, the line, you don't even have to watch Alabama football shows. I mean, there's plenty of great Alabama YouTube shows that you could watch that I would imagine are saying some of the similar things. But look at the line in Vegas. It started out 6.5. That was like in January, which meant that, okay, Alabama wins by a touchdown in Tallahassee. That line's creeping to 2 scores because I think people are starting to really understand, wow, this Alabama football team, they're coming back. And the components that they have, they're going to be tough to deal with. But I appreciate the call, Jay Boogie, man. Thanks for the support inside the comment box, bro. Call in anytime, and I'm glad you're safe from the severe weather recently.
Yeah, no problem, Kyle. I appreciate you taking my call, and I shot you that email. Fixing to run this boy to the doctor, and everybody out there, y'all be blessed.
All right, man. Stay blessed. All right, take it easy. That's Jay Boogie calling out from the Huntsville area. So, yeah, that was a good call. And look, the severe weather down here is nothing to mess around with. It's unbelievable. In fact, the storm that came even through here in Tuscaloosa, I think it was Sunday morning, I think there was like 110-mile-an-hour winds. There's trees down everywhere in Tuscaloosa. All right, I'm going to take a quick commercial. We'll come back. We'll spin the pinwheel right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys watching the show, and be back in just 1-2 minutes right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. All right, fam, we are back. We are back. You guys ready? All right, fam. You know what time it is. It's the Bama Pinwheel on Bama Football on YouTube, where we spin for prizes every single day right here on Bama Football on YouTube. To get into the pinwheel action, jump into the raffles that we have. Details at the beginning of the show. I appreciate you guys being here. Today we're raffling off a really tight hoodie. If you do win, hit me up at nmpreps@gmail.com. I'll put it inside the comment box. It's an email that I've had for like 20 years. So we're about to spin it right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys watching and enjoying the show. We got some heavy hitters today. You got Alex Wilder in there. You got Chad Kennedy, even Dan Caraway. So some heavy hitters in there today. I appreciate you guys supporting the show. Remember, a portion of this goes back to the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen. With that said, let's spin it. You guys ready? All right. 3, 2, 3. Who you guys think wins? You guys want to do some side bets? All right. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I'll go full screen on it. 3, 2. The pinwheel has started, and Lisa wins. Kalisa comes away against the heavy hitters. Woo! That was a close one. Chad Kennedy, you have been this close. You are so tough to beat, Chad Kennedy. You've been that close 2 days in a row, and it's Lisa, a first-time winner, come away with the hoodie. Remember, if you have won and you have received your gear, send me a photo of yourself in the gear so I can do a wall of Bama gear for the winners, all right? Lisa, congratulations. That's a tough draw. You're going to get, this was like the, you know what, this spin was the Premier League. Tomorrow on Feel Good Friday, I think we might do a free raffle. So if you were in today, I'll probably scoop your name, throw you into a raffle. We'll do a hat, we'll do a shirt, we'll do something like that. So stay tuned for tomorrow's show. Follow us on Facebook, and we will catch you soon as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. See